I am all about princesses, so of course, on our last trip to Epcot, I had to go through the World Showcase and get some of the Disney princesses to sign my hand-painted Disney jacket. Most people think of the Magic Kingdom when they think about meeting with the Disney princesses, but there are a lot of characters, including official princesses, to meet at Epcot. One of my favorites is Mulan because A, there's not much cooler than a princess with a sword, and B, the China Pavilion is just so very pretty. And of course, when I met with Mulan, she was all about the more practical aspects of my outfit. First, she noticed my very blingy ears and decreed them my battle armor because all the bright flashes of light from all the rhinestones would blind my enemies. Then when she saw my jacket, she decided that that also counted as armor because even though I don't really need it in Orlando very often, where I'm from it gets a lot colder a lot more often, and she decided that was a very practical type of armor to have. As someone who pretty much defeated the Huns single-handedly on a snowy mountain, I'm gonna take her word for it. And of course, once you're in the China Pavilion, you're really close to some of my favorite Disney sisters, so we had to go to the Norway Pavilion and meet Anna and Elsa. Anna and Elsa is always a very fun character interaction, and it's also one of my favorites because the line and the wait usually aren't too terribly long, even though they're pretty popular characters, and it's a twofer where you wait in one line but end up getting to meet two characters. Anna loved that I was an artist and was really excited about my jacket, and we had a great conversation about all the wonderful family portraits hanging in their summer home. Of course, the sisters are already painted on my first Disney jacket, and I'll link that video down below because that jacket was princess themed. This jacket was not actually themed towards princesses, and since they were already on my first jacket, I didn't actually paint them on this one. I only had spaces for characters like them to sign, even if they weren't actually painted on the jacket. But I did have Olaf painted on this jacket, so it just made sense to have Anna and Elsa sign near him. Since the princesses weren't actually painted on the jacket, there was a little more freedom for where exactly they were going to sign, so I gave Anna some options. I'm like, anywhere in these areas, and she looked at the two different options and she decided that one area might be better for Elsa so she could have some extra room, and Anna went ahead and signed in her spot. After a couple pictures with Anna, we moved across the room to meet her sister. Much like her younger sister, Elsa was very intrigued with me being an artist, and she pointed out that on the ceiling were some wonderful little paintings that Olaf had painted. And so of course I had to show her on the front of my jacket the little self-portrait that Olaf had painted for me, and she absolutely loved that and thought that was really great. A lot of people assume that Epcot is the grown-up park and that there's not a lot for their kids there. And I get that there is maybe a little less for the kiddos there than a lot of the other parks, but if your little one is interested in meeting characters, Epcot's a great option for them, especially if they're large enough to ride most of the rides that are there. There are so many different characters, a wide variety of types of characters, and since there aren't usually quite as many kiddos in this park, the lines usually aren't that bad to meet with the characters. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope it encouraged you to go meet some wonderful characters at Epcot. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.